A very pleasant morning to all. Today I welcome you all on our YouTube channel Academy Ambala. I, Tripti Sharma, is going to do the chapter The Beggar from your supplementary reader Moments. A man was begging alms. He said that he had not eaten anything for the last 3 days. He did not even have 5 kopecks to pay for a room to spend the night at. He swore by God that he spoke the truth. He had been a school teacher in a village for 8 years, but lost that job due to the conspiracy of his colleagues. For the last 1 year, he was without work. An advocate named Sergi looked at the light brown colored coat of the beggar. The beggar had dull, drunken eyes. There were red spots on both his cheeks. Sergi felt that he had seen the man before. The beggar continued that he had got an offer of a job in the state of Kaluga in Russia. He did not have enough money to travel to the place. He wanted help, though he felt ashamed asking for it, but his circumstances forced him to do so. Sergi saw the man's shoes. Both of them had varying heel sizes. He remembered something. Lashkov was a middle-aged man. His way of begging was different from others. He pretended sometimes to be a teacher and sometimes to be a student. In reality, he was a musician in the Russian choir. He was kicked out of the orchestra because of his drinking habits. He didn't like to work hard. He had lost his strength and stamina both. He was wearing a tattered overcoat and his big boots. There were red spots on his cheeks. He told lies in order to fill his empty belly. If he had told the truth, none would have helped him. Because of Olga and Sergi, he changed himself and became a notary. He said that the day before, the previous day, he had seen the same beggar at Sadovia Street. Then the beggar had said that he was a student who had been removed from the institution and not that he was a school teacher. He asked the beggar if he remembered it. The beggar was shocked and spoke softly that was not possible. He reasserted that he was a school teacher and could show his documents as proof. The beggar confessed that he was lying. He was neither a teacher nor a student. He had been a singer in a Russian group and was removed due to his drinking problem. He lied because people would not give him alms if he told them the truth. The beggar said that he knew he should work, but there was no work for him. Sergi asked if he would chop wood for him. The beggar wanted to chop wood, but said that even skilled woodcutters were out of work, so who would employ him for it? Sergi offered him work. The beggar replied that he would chop wood for him. Sergi said that his willingness to work would be judged soon. He walked off, rubbing his hands, and called the cook from the kitchen. The beggar resembled a scarecrow. His reluctance to go to the shed was signified by his act of shrugging his shoulders. He followed his cook hesitatingly. He was hesitant because he was hungry, and although he wanted to work, he did not feel energetic enough to do it. As he had promised Sergi, he had to go to work. He did not feel strong enough because he was under the influence of the alcohol and was not fit to do laborious work. Sergi went to the dining room. To look outside the window, he could see the woodshed and the yard. He saw the cook and the beggar in the yard. They walked to the shed. The cook, Olga, stared at the beggar angrily, pushed him with her elbow and shut the door. There he saw the beggar who had lied that he had been a teacher sitting on a log of wood. He sat with his cheeks resting on his fists. Olga threw the axe towards him and scolded him. The beggar pulled the piece of wood towards him, placed it between his feet and hit it weakly with the axe. The wood shook and fell. He pulled it up again, tried to warm up his hands by blowing into them, and again tapped the wood with the axe. He was careful not to hit his shoes or cut his fingers. The wood fell again. Sergey was not angry at the beggar any longer. He felt sorry and ashamed of himself to put the poor man at hard work in such cold weather, despite the fact that he was not fit enough to do it. The beggar was too weak and was under the influence of alcohol. He could barely stand on his feet. Still, the cook Ulga told Sergey that the wood had been chopped. Sergey was glad that the man worked and paid him 50 kopecks for chopping the wood. He asked him to come on the first day of every month for it. Sometimes he asked him to shovel the snow or to set the wood in the shed or to dust the rugs. He would pay between 20 to 40 kopecks and once gave his old trousers to him too. When Sergey shifted his house, he employed the beggar to help in transporting the articles. The beggar had changed as he was sober that day, and Sergey felt satisfied that his efforts had paid in reforming a drunkard. As he could read and write, Sergey asked his name, offered him better work, and shook hands with him. After that day, Lashkov, the beggar, was never seen. After 2 years, Sergey was buying a ticket outside a theatre and spotted Lashkov. Lashkov was well dressed and was buying a ticket of the gallery area. Sergey was glad to see him and called him. Lashkov was now working as a notary and earned 35 rubles a month. He thanked Sergey for helping him out of the pit for his kindness. Lashkov told Sergey that it was not for him, but for his cook Ulga, that he was a changed man. She would scold him, cry for him, chop the wood for him. Her behavior transformed Lashkov. With this, he went to the theatre. Thank you, children. I hope that you all must have understood and listened to this story carefully. God bless you all, dear.